Speaking of the NFL draft, that is our top 5 today.
It is.
Clever little topic I came up with.
Proud of you.
The top 5 teams you would not want to be drafted by. If you were Eli Manning and you were the number 1 overall pick and the San Diego Chargers had that pick, you would rather not play football than play for this team, San Diego Chargers. So who would you not want to be drafted by? Logan said he wasn't sure if he could come up with 10. I said it doesn't have to be true. You can make something up to rile up some.
You don't want to tell the people that. That's supposed to be behind the scenes.
All of mine are true. So
okay,
I host, so you can go first. What's the number 1 team? I have a clear head and shoulders number 1. I don't know if you do. What's the number 1 team you would not want to play for?
I have a few different,
be drafted by.
I have a few different qualities, things I'm looking for here. In terms of how the organization is run, in terms of where they're at geography-wise, weather's going to play a factor for me.
You know me. Uniforms play a factor for me.
Uniforms play a factor for you. But for me, just an organization that I know they might be solving some things now, but for the time being, I would want nothing to do with the Washington Commanders.
Oh, okay.
That is a team in turmoil. That's a division that's usually pretty tough. Again, new ownership will eventually maybe change some things there, but that was pretty easy for me. I don't know. That's probably not your head and shoulders number 1, and there's probably a better reason for that. But that was the one that spoke to me. So I will take the Washington Commanders.
They are on my list. They were a top 5 on my list. There's a little bit of history there, though, that I think if they were to figure things out, that a lot of this past 10 years would kind of go away. Obviously, not the owner that has owned them for this whatever. They were on my list, but no, mine. I honestly cannot think of one positive thing from location, from color scheme, from nickname, from history. Name one good thing about the Cleveland Browns. I think it's impossible. Yeah. I really think it's impossible. I think they might be the worst franchise in sports.
That's fair.
Orange and brown look awful together. It's in Cleveland. It's cold. Nothing, no history. Why would anyone choose to play in Cleveland?
Yeah, they were high on my list. And all your reasons are fair. I get that. They have not been very well ran. They have not won anything. Their jerseys are ugly. The brown, it is. I get that. That is probably the right number 1 overall pick. I will give you that. I'm with you. I'm with you there. Okay. I'm not sure where I want to go right now. I did rank these out 1 through 10, but I'm not loving my second pick just because I want to be a little different.
Oh, I got a hot take for number 2. So
if we're going right now,
yeah,
I'm going to go Houston Texans.
Okay.
Just another team that is they're just a mess. It's a mess of an operation, top to bottom.
I'm waiting to see if someone in the chat is still watching, and if he has,
I'm sure.
Go ahead.
I know. I'm sure they'll figure it out at some point, but that was just, to me, that just makes sense. That's just not a team I'd want to play for right now. Give it a couple years, it might be different, but at this exact moment, the Texans.
I did not have the Texans on my list just because it's Houston. It's a big market. They have, as it's me, I love uniforms. They have a good uniform set, a good stadium. So I didn't have them on my list. I'm going back and forth between 2 here, and one is probably going to be very hot take-ish. So I think I'm going to go there. And it's only really based off of 2 things. It's based off of stadium and location. There are probably 500 places in the United States I would rather live than Buffalo.
They were on my list too.
The uniforms are plain. It's cold year round. The stadium is a dump. I know they're getting a new one, so that would probably update this a little bit. But as of now, they play in the worst stadium. The only thing going for them is that fan base. Bills Mafia is crazy, and I'm sure it's a fun place to play. But I would not want to be drafted by the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. I'm going to go in a similar direction as you. Another one that might stir up some controversy. A team that is full of history, but regardless of whether or not I am a fan or I am not a fan of their biggest rival, I've still always hated the Green Bay Packers.
They're on my list too.
Now they do not have their first ballot Hall of Fame franchise quarterback anymore. I made this list before the news dropped. But yeah, I would want nothing about playing in Green Bay, and I don't blame Aaron Rodgers. It is the smallest market in professional sports. You can't even really call it Milwaukee. It's so far away from Milwaukee. It's similar to Buffalo. It's just cold and it snows just way too much. I get there's a lot of history there. I'm sure Lambeau is a great place to play. I'm sure that I know the fan base is lovely. But as I said, even though I'm not really a Bears fan, I've always despised the Green Bay Packers. So I will take the Packers for my third pick.
Yep, on my list as well. Number 4, actually. So they should have been. I should have picked them before. But another place I just wouldn't want to live. I think that's kind of what it's coming down to for me. Don't want to live here. They don't have a whole lot of history. They do have a dome, so you don't have to worry about it being cold. I have no interest in Detroit Lions.
Yep. That's good.
I don't think they haven't won anything. Detroit's not a great city. I mean, it has as every city. Anytime someone says, "Well, this isn't a great city," every city has their things. Like there's places and things to do in each city. You just have to know what parts of it to avoid. So I just have no interest in Detroit at all. So Detroit's my third pick.
That's a good pick. All right, I got 2 left.
Now's where it gets tough. I think those were pretty clear, but now's where it gets hard.
This team, for my entire lifetime, has been really bad. They play in a big market, but it's just not a team that I would really have much interest in playing for. Caveat being that they did just acquire one of the greatest football players of our generation. So they might be good this year, but I'll take the Jets.
Okay.
Sure, New York is a big market, but they'll always be the Jets. And to me, they are there with the Browns in our lifetime as one of the worst football franchises.
They had a decent run there with Rex Ryan. They made a couple AFC championships.
They were fine. But I'm going to go with the Jets.
I thought about it,
despite
but I avoided
the big
the
news.
New York teams.
That's fair. I get it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this is where it gets tough.
It does.
I
don't love my options.
I'm going hot take again here. And it's not because I don't like them. It's another place I don't think I would want to live. And I don't think I would have fun under their head coach and the regime is still there. I would not want to play for the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Another cold location. So if there's a theme here, it's I do not want to play in the cold.
We're in the similar boat.
I have no interest in the New England. I know they're the most successful. He's the best NFL coach of all time, probably Bill Belichick. But he runs a tight ship. He's got a lot of rules. Nah, I don't want it.
That's a good pick. All right, I got one left. I have 2 that I'm kind of debating between. 3 that I'm kind of debating between. One of them, again, if we're doing this exercise based off of today and this season alone, I think there is another team here that is in absolute shambles at the moment. Most of their best players don't even want to be there. And they have retired or they have asked to leave or everything else. They have a diva of a quarterback, and I'm not sure I'd want to play with him. I will take the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
I mean, there's enough talent there, but it hasn't worked, and it's a mess. And it's a great market, and they have a dome. It's warm weather, all that stuff. They were high on my list. I kind of avoided them just because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to take them.
Yeah.
But as of today,
yeah,
that franchise is a mess.
Yep.
So if we're
only reason I didn't have them on my list was I love Phoenix. So
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Okay.
Who's your last pick?
I'm toying between two, really. I don't know where to go. I really don't. One of them is a very historic franchise. One of them is in one of the biggest markets in the United States. The other is a franchise that has gone to a Super Bowl fairly recently, but other than that, has done nothing. But they're in a warm climate. The one I'm not going with is the Bears. That was the big market one that I'm toying with. I'll go with the Carolina Panthers. Okay. Not really much to sell with the Carolina Panthers franchise. They had the one run with Cam Newton, had a good 4 or 5 years with Cam. Other than that, nah. I have never been to Charlotte, but I think I would love it. It is in the South, but it's just a franchise that doesn't really have much to sell. So I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers. Yep. So Logan's list goes Commanders, Texans, Packers, Jets, Cardinals. My list goes Browns, Bills, Lions, Patriots, Panthers. I got a couple hot takes in there.
Yeah, I kind of figured we would. I mean, there's only, however many teams we could choose from. So
we're not doing a full draft here, but if you could get drafted by any franchise, what franchise would you want to get drafted by? Let's put you on the spot. We did not prep for this.
We didn't prep for this. I might want to be out in like LA. Would probably be up there for me. I mean, the Cowboys as a franchise is just, that's America's team. Mm-hmm. That'd be one up there for me. I mean, you took them with your last pick. I wouldn't mind the Panthers. Just in terms of as a location, I've not spent a ton of time in Charlotte.
Yeah.
I had a not so great experience there in January, but had nothing to do with the city itself. That one hotel wasn't particularly great, but yeah, I'd probably go like LA, Dallas, something like that. How about you?
It would not be LA. F the Rams. I almost put the Rams on my list.
You should have put the Rams on your list.
I'm going Midwest. Well, kind of southern Midwest, I guess. With what they have coming and their color scheme, I love their coach. Tennessee Titans.
I thought about that. Yeah.
They're going to have probably the best stadium in all of football in Nashville, which is one of my top 3 favorite cities in the country. I think it'd be Tennessee Titans. So
I think it's very telling that neither of us picked the Jacksonville Jaguars.
On my list.
Who have been an abysmal franchise. They just happen to play in a warm weather state, which is why neither of us took them. And they have a pretty good young quarterback. The other one that I toyed with taking is the Saints. I've never been to New Orleans.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a New Orleans guy, and I don't think that I would want to live there.
I would probably agree with that.
I'm sure it would be fine for me to visit. I'm sure I'd have a great time. I just don't think it's my vibe.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of far from everything. So they were probably next on my list. But I did have the Jags and I did have the Bears kind of hanging around there.
Another one we took all or have named 9 of the 10 on my list. My other one was Baltimore. The Ravens.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right. Love that. Love that top 5 for us. We'll have something
for you.
Different next week.